You're watching our Knicks rumors and news show right now. Free agency is underway. Harrison Graham and Chase Sr. Subscribe to our growing Knicks channel, chatsports.com/KnicksTV. Hit that big red button and subscribe if you're watching on our Knicks channel. A couple of moves early on here, Chase, as New York brings back a couple of their vets. Alec Burks back on a 3-year, $30 million deal.
Yeah, Knicks fans might be disappointed because they went into NBA free agency with around $50 million in cap space to work with. And Knicks fans wanted them to be all in on guys like Chris Paul, maybe make a blockbuster trade for Damian Lillard. Maybe that happens at some point this NBA offseason if Dame requests a trade. And after not going after some of the big fishes, they're going after secondary guys. And two guys in Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel who played really important roles on this team last year, a Knicks team that got up to number 4 in the Eastern Conference standings before losing 4-1 in that first-round series against the Atlanta Hawks. At the end of games, Alec Burks played a monster role offensively. Now, going into a contract year, I thought he was well worth it for the price tag that the Knicks were paying him. Do I think he's going to be able to duplicate this success? I'm not sure. If he can continue to average around 13 points per game and shoot a very efficient 41.5% from beyond the arc, it's not a bad signing for the Knicks as they bring back some of these core pieces and continue to build along that culture that Tom Thibodeau is building.
Yeah, Alec Burks, 30 years old, had a career year in a lot
of ways. Really
was
a career year,
yeah. Especially from an efficiency standpoint. If you're getting 40% from 3, 10-plus points per game, hey, that's going to be $10 million a year in the NBA. That's just how it goes. So I don't mind this deal. Don't love the 3-year commitment, but overall I'm okay with this signing. What is your one-word reaction to the Knicks keeping Alec Burks? Okay, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but if you're the Knicks and you can't get these big fish guys, bring back some key role players, and that's what they're doing here with Alec Burks. So get your one-word reaction in. They also bring back Nerlens Noel on a 3-year, $32 million contract. The stats won't jump off the page for you, Chase, but good two-way big, good shot blocker, really came into his own with the Knicks last year.
I think one of the big reasons why Knicks fans fell in love with that team last year is because you had guys like Alec Burks, Derrick Rose, and Nerlens Noel really exceeding expectations and reviving their careers to a certain degree. And Nerlens Noel deserves to be talked about in that manner because last year I thought he was tremendous on the defensive end of the floor. This guy is an elite shot blocker, and when he doesn't block shots, and he averaged more than 2 blocks per game last year, he at least alters shots down low. A good rim running big who's very active on the glass. Look, his offensive game leaves a lot to be desired. He averaged a little more than 5 points per game last year. But as a guy who's going to give you energetic minutes off the bench, maybe even give you some spot starts and has some good size at 6'11", 220, still somewhat young, I don't hate the dollar figure on this deal as well as Alec Burks' deal. I'd like to see the Knicks go after a marquee free agent, but the market hasn't really worked in their favor because a guy like Kyle Lowry goes to the Miami Heat. I thought that would have been a tremendous signing for New York. So they've resorted to some of these secondary and third options, and I kind of like what they're doing. They're bringing back familiar faces and guys who play critical roles on playoff teams. Does this put them over the top, bringing back Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel? Does this allow them to compete for an Eastern Conference title? I don't think so. Is depth important in the NBA? Certainly. Do Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks play key roles respectively on both ends of the floor? Nerlens defensively, Alec Burks offensively, for sure.
And the key here for the Knicks, still have some cap space. They can get up to $32 million in cap room still. So, if Damian Lillard becomes available, that is certainly still in play. Noel re-signs. Grade the move. A, B, C, D, or F. I'll give it like a B-. I don't love it, but if he plays like he did last year for the next couple years, then I think it's certainly a move that is certainly well worth making there. So A, B, C, D, or F. Go ahead and hand out your grade for Nerlens Noel re-signing on a 3-year contract worth $32 million. And hey, the race to 1,000 subscribers is on because we launched our Knicks channel and our 76ers channel on the exact same day about 2.5 or 3 weeks ago. Knicks took a big lead after the NBA draft, had a strong draft grades video. So, hey, keep the momentum going if you're a Knicks fan. Chatsports.com/KnicksTV. Subscribe, share that link with all your friends. It'll redirect you to the Knicks channel, and let's get to 1,000 sooner rather than later. So a couple more moments here on this, Chase. You kind of look at how the Knicks' current lineup sits. The glaring need still is a point guard.
For sure. And does Emmanuel quickly in year 2, after a very impressive rookie season, I thought it was a steal where the Knicks got him in the 2020 NBA draft, does he become your starting point guard? I think there's a possibility there depending on how the market falls. But I like the makings of this roster right now. And I like some of the pieces that are on it. I thought the Knicks were really solid last year. You know that they're going to put forward effort. They're going to play defense under Tom Thibodeau, which is very important. But R.J. Barrett, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle was absolutely tremendous last year. I mean, Harrison, we were talking about him weekly in the Chat Sports office as a guy who we just had to give so much props to for how he's been able to develop his game over time. So many players on this roster that fit the New York profile of being tough, gritty, and just have an intestinal fortitude. I just like them to get a star. Also, I didn't hate their draft either. You get Quentin Grimes, you get Miles McBride, Rokas Jokubaitis.
Like Jericho Sims late
some
in the
guys
draft.
there. Jericho Sims is another rim-running big. New York City, I see you. I think the Knicks are going to be relevant, which is great.
Now, the next big decision, Julius Randle, do you extend him? We'll see if that could be in the works sometime this offseason.